So you know how I'm obsessing about Taylor Swift's song? That was about Taylor Swift, where she talks about answering the question.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And she's like, my advice is just answer the question. And I'm like, that's such profound advice.
Mm-hmm.
So I want I want you to go in the bubble and find out. Well, first of all, like, because it's come up several times, right? And when we've been talking and going into the bubble, they're like, well, just answer the question. So I want to know in general, like, what they have, the way I want to hear what the way they say it, like, why it's such a good piece of advice. And then I have a second question after that.
Mm-hmm. The first thing that they're saying is that as humans, we are wired for curiosity. Man, that was hard to say. Because the whole purpose of the soul is learning experiences. So at the heart of having a learning experience, there needs to be some form of curiosity. So that song title and that phrase speaks to us. It's almost like a dog whistle. It's like speaking to the soul of just answer the question. And so not only does the human get excited about, oh, I wonder what the answer is, but the soul is like, yes, answer the question, have the experience, take the plunge, take the leap, take the step, like do the action. So we're getting activated at a couple different levels.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah, that is such a succinct way to put it. Right. It's like answer the question, it's like have the experience. Because if you
Yeah.
don't answer the question, you're not having the experience.
Right. Because the soul doesn't care what the answer is. It just wants you to have the experience.
Right.
The human, like the human wants a little bit more safety around it. And now they're showing like the higher self perspective is there's never a wrong answer. And it doesn't want stagnation.
Oh, it wants things to. So,
Yeah.
like either answer the question or decide it's not a question anymore to even think about. So
Yeah.
just either way, you're moving on.
Right. But to get stuck in it in the analyzing is they're like, this is extreme, but it's like a slow death for the soul because you just move into this suspended space of taking no action and living in the mental realm of the what ifs. So it's almost like removing the body again. And when you sit in that mental space, and the soul's like, no, like we came here to use the body to have the experiences, to feel the emotions, to ride the wave, not to just get locked in these what if scenarios and playing out options that never really result in any sort of action being taken.
Right.
The higher self also knows this. So the higher self is like, it wants to keep the energy flowing because universally everything's always in motion. And when we get stuck, it like creates almost like a disruption in the force.
That makes sense. The other thing I had thought about with this was how, like, this idea that we've talked about this before in different ways, and I don't even know if it's on this podcast or other places, but kind of this idea that, like, okay, there's like infinite experiences out there. There's infinite things you could be thinking about or doing or whatever. And the things that are in your field, for lack of a better way of saying it, like in your awareness, there's a reason for that. So, like, if you're even asking the question, like, there's a question you're asking that no one else is asking. Or, you know what I mean? Like,
Say that again. Or
there's a
keep
question.
going.
Yeah. So, like, this is going to be so hard to articulate. It's like, okay, let's just take working out, for example. It's like some people are like, well, should I swim or should I play pickleball or should I lift weights? And other people are going, should I take karate or should I do figure skating or should I like play football? I don't know. Like, so there's a reason why the one person has these three items and the other person has these other three items, and they're not even like considering, one person's not even considering swimming.
Yes.
It's not just preferences. It's more like, is there something more in alignment with why you'd even be asking this question in the first place?
Yes, and what do we want to answer first? So they want to back up. First, even if, let's say, you and I were both asking the same question, should I do Pilates? Should I do boxing? Should I do yoga? Even if both of you, as different human beings, are asking the same question, you're asking the same question from a different perspective because you're asking it from your own unique experience. So how Laura approached, let's say that we both decide to pick Pilates, we would each still potentially approach that differently. Like, even getting the same answer doesn't mean having the same experience. They wanted to clarify that. Depending on the question that you're asking, what's driving the question can be soul preference, human preference, higher self preference. It can be skills, talents, intelligence. It can be astrology, numerology, cardology. Like, there's just all these layers that go into crafting the question, but even allowing questions to be asked, because they also want to point out that there are so many questions that go unasked.
Right. I'm kind of thinking of it as like, you know, we talked about the record grooves before, where it's like you have we have experiences based on either something our soul is wanting. And so the questions we're asking are often based on, like, I'm wondering if they're based on kind of like what the soul is wanting. But I think you're answering it, which is yes, and there's a whole bunch of other factors.
Yeah, yes, and it can also be based on an infinite number of not concoctions, but layers, an infinite number of layers, as like the blueprint that a human has. It all gets filtered through that to then result in either a question or an experience.
Well, I think that's like I think you're getting the answer that I'm trying to get to, which is like, it's filtered through your blueprint. So there are going to be a whole bunch of questions that are never going to even be occurring to you to focus on or ask.
Yeah.
Because it's nothing related to what your soul is trying to experience.
Correct. Yeah.
Oh my God, I didn't think we were going to make it. That was a rough one. I just can't, I couldn't articulate what I was trying to ask. Anyway, do you have any questions?
My God, I feel so ill prepared because I've been so focused on this training. I was in the weeds right up until I jumped on this.
You're like 4 minutes before this. Well, it's exciting. You're doing your breathwork training for now in person.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you never know what's going to happen with that.
No.
Teaching people how to, what I love about your breathwork is, I remember when we were teaching yoga and you were like, if I could just yell at people during yoga, this would be what I would want to do. And there was that one, what was that one yoga that came out? Was it rage yoga or something?
Yeah.
That was kind of that.
Super pumped about that. Just didn't really land.
4 minutes. Yeah. So then breathwork, this is perfect because it's not like it's not like the breathwork in yoga class where it's not like 4 counts in, 4 counts out.
No.
It's hardcore breathwork. So you're able to you don't really yell at people, but you're using the ultimate meaning of your card, the 6 of diamonds, which is the cheerleader. That's one of the definitions or names of your card. And so you're able to use that cheerleader part of you to scout people through it.
I get to get excited, and that's the arc of the physiology that the body goes through. Is it gets activated, so I get to activate people, and then we do this yell. Actually, do a yell, so I actually get to yell, and then come back down and regulate. And so that's where the holding space and the softness from yoga training comes in. But I don't have to talk from that space or lead from that space all the time. I also get to participate in the activated space, which I don't know, just lets more energy move. In yoga, I always felt like, I don't know, it just wasn't in alignment. It doesn't even matter how I felt, just wasn't my thing.
Well, we've talked about this before because when we did our yin training, we are like, oh, right. So we did yin yoga training, which is where you do poses for 2 to like 10 minutes at a time. And not like you're standing in a pose, you're actually doing like pigeon and you just lay there in a heap and a slop on the floor. And but because it was based on like Taoist yoga, we learned, we had a lot of discussions about the rotational aspects of the body, like your bones are created in a rotation, kind of like a tree trunk. It's like as they grow in a rotation. You have these like movements in your joints where they're going at all these different angles. And traditional yoga is kind of just like 2 planes, forward and backward. And then you have the twists. Like you have lateral bends and twists and stuff, but you don't like have the flexibility to kind of move around. And so when we would teach yin, you would teach pigeon, but you don't just do pigeon the way people tell you to do pigeon. You feel your body, you move to an angle where you're getting the stretch you need. So I think that's probably like, there is a little bit of like almost like too much structure to a regular yoga class for me now.
Truth. Yes. And that is probably one of the things that I really like about the breath work, because I'm not telling you what to feel or what to experience. I'm trying to activate something. I'm trying to bring something to the surface for you, but ultimately you are in control, which is what we learned in yin, is that the student is actually in control. Only they know what they're feeling in their body. Only they know the proper alignment based on how their body feels. And to have a teacher tell you differently is ill-informed, ill-advised.
Well, yeah, and it's hard because it's like there's all this idea of like the right alignment and this alignment and that alignment, and it's more like if you're moving slowly enough, you actually can't really, it's hard to hurt yourself. So there's that. Yeah. If you're moving too fast, yes, that's when you injure yourself. But if you can feel in your own body something, then you become your own guide and you can build that intuition in your body from having that, like from having the, power over yourself, ruling your own body.
Yeah.
Ruling your world.
Reigning over your body. Well, I think it almost feels a little bit like, not to go too deep into the yoga thing here, but it's like when yoga was created, right? It was to give an outlet primarily to boys, Indian boys who had too much energy. Teens, Indian tweens, to give them an outlet for the energy so that they could learn how to like quiet the mind. And then we just kept evolving it and evolving it and evolving it. And now we have to have trauma-informed practices because we basically westernized a process that was supposed to be a little bit kinder and a little bit gentler. So now we have to teach people how not to re-traumatize people in a yoga class. It's fucking insane.
Well, the original Ashtanga was like
that is true. It was trauma.
You can't do the next one. You sit there the whole fucking rest of the class and you don't move until it was militant, honestly. So like, yeah, that's crazy. That's really funny.
I guess. Yeah.
This cold will not go away. Oh, I could do that. What? Tell me why I can't get rid of this cough.
Oh.
Bubble. Been like a month.
Well, they were showing me a bunch of different stuff, but I was just like, okay, where are you going with this? Basically, it's like the people that have the colds that are lingering, like you, it's you're helping to anchor and clear the space for the transition that we're all going through. So that cough is keeping you a little rested. It's also keeping you really focused on the body, because when you're not feeling well, it's hard to disassociate because you stay connected. Excuse me. And so when we look at consciousness as a whole, we're being asked to step into that next level. What Jim, the shaman, always talks about is moving into a more heart-based approach of living, which I think is going to be the result of what's happening in the United States now. I'm trying to pick my words carefully here.
Oh my God.
But to do that, we've got to clear out stuff. So think about it. Like if we're activating the heart area, people are going to start to really notice where they're congested, where there's trauma held, where they're closed off. So people who are having like quote unquote chest colds right now are helping to start to clear energetically some of that for the overall consciousness. Because if we asked every human that was closed off to open their heart, it would just be too overwhelming. Like they can't, it's too overwhelming for some to actually do the work to open their heart. Whereas if enough of us open our hearts, then energetically it like clears the plane and opens a space for the decision to be made without having to do the work necessarily. So it's kind of like how we, like the whole waking up process, like it used to go through this sort of progression of modalities, and it could be different, but you always started somewhere. Most of us started with yoga, and then we make our way through Reiki, and maybe we go over to tapping or breath work or whatever. There was all these things that you went through, and it was slowly like peeling things away and opening space and bringing things into alignment. And now they're just like boom, boom, boom. And so people who can process it are processing it for the people that can't process but still want to get there.
Oh my God, that was really dramatic. I did not think that's where that was going to go.
I didn't either. I just kept talking. I was like, where are we going with this?
Okay, all right. That makes me feel a little better. I'm not like, sometimes you're like, what am I doing wrong? And why do I have this cough?
No, you're a cough holder, a space holder, a heart holder.
Kind of. Okay. I mean, it's weird because it's like a high up cough, but then also sometimes it's a down low cough. So it's like, how can I be different? Okay. Now I just really want to talk about this thing where I was driving on a road trip by myself to Chicago, and all of a sudden the thought came in and was like, if Donald Trump died, would someone call me? Then I tell my sister, and she's like, I had a dream that he died last night. And then you have a friend who had a dream that he dies within the next 2 months. No, these three of us, me, my sister, and your friend, are like kind of in tune and tapped in and like have intuitive things happening, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yet there was another person that I know who is not, I mean not into any of this stuff.
Yeah.
Had like maybe even use the word premonition. It's like he is like, I had a gut, like I really just had this really strong gut feeling that he was going to die within the next week or two. Like, what in the hell is all of that?
Let's see.
Wishful thinking, I guess. But
yeah. Sorry if you're a supporter, but you're probably not going to want to listen to us anyway. Let's see. What is that? Well, the simple answer and the simple way to sort of justify and discard it would just be to say that it's a growing collective of wishful thinking. But it's more than that. It's the seeds being planted to start preparing people. Because even if you don't like the president, to have a president die is dramatic.
Yeah, I mean, it hasn't happened in a while.
No, it hasn't happened in a long time. So now they're flashing back to JFK, which granted, how he was killed was dramatic also on its own, but it was also, I mean, now what? Like, so that's the question that sits with everyone. Now what?
Right. What actually happens? And it's stressful to think about whether you like him or not.
Yeah, because on some level, you don't ever really vote for the vice president. You vote for the president.
No, you don't.
I mean, we don't have a choice. We don't get to pair people together. We're just told that this is the couple that you're voting for. And you're just like, okay, well, the president carries enough sway that I'll vote for that person. And I just hope that the vice president never has to really do anything is usually what most of us are thinking. So in the case of a president dying, everybody's left with, oh, fuck. Like, who was the other guy or girl? Like, who's the backup? So these like drop in of information, premonition, hits, whatever, is preparing people so that they start thinking through and imagining the what if, so they're not completely off guard when it does happen.
That's insane. Well, and I guess part of it is too, right? It's like, even if you don't like whatever president is president, you know that there's a population of the people that did want that person to be president.
Yeah.
So at least, it's not comfort, is not the word I would use, but at least there's like, you're like, okay, well, people did want this. So they voted for it, allegedly. And I guess.
I mean,
but
so we're
you
told.
could be like, well, people wanted this, so here we are. But like this the clown that would come up next. It's like, oh, did people want this? Those people that voted for Donald Trump didn't give a flying fuck about JD Vance, I'm sure. So now they're gonna what? Like, there's no one that cares about this person, probably, or maybe. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Oh my God, it's crazy. You're right. Wow, that's nuts.
Yeah, they're not done. They're also like pointing to the fact that there is a growing consensus of people who are so upset about how things are being handled, even people that were supporters, so upset with how things are being handled that it's almost like we're starting to come to this energetic reckoning point. Oh, this is interesting. All right. I'm just going to share exactly what they're showing me. You can think I'm crazy if you want. It doesn't always have to be literal. But what they're showing is as if there is like a galactic council of beings that sort of keep the whole universe in check. So, like, we'll just allow you to assume, for the sake of this conversation, that Earth is the only planet with beings on it. Cool. So, but
stay in that bubble if you want.
Right. It's really important, regardless, it's really important that Earth maintains its structural integrity. Oh boy, here we go.
What does that even mean? Okay, sorry.
That's okay. God. So by structural integrity, we mean to bring forward the concept and the thought that Earth has an energy, the humans that live on her have an energy. These two things need to work in collaboration. They need to be in sync. It's symbiotic. It's not disconnected. Your emotion affects Earth. Earth's emotion affects you. The tides, the volcanoes, the hurricanes, the tornadoes, all of it. You could tie it right back to a human emotion. So just start with us there. When things start to get too out of balance, too fiery, too watery, too airy, too mental, too like just grounded and stuck, then the Galactic Council, the higher beings, step in to help offer a way to re-regulate. It's almost like counseling.
Okay. The council counsels.
Is right. The council counsels. This is
because they don't really take away free will.
No. So imagine that the humans are in a relationship with Earth. We're a couple. Somehow there's some sort of misalignment that happens in that coupling, and we have to go to couples counseling. That is the Galactic Council. And they look at, okay, what is happening with the humans? What is happening with the Earth? How do we bring these things back into balance? Are there like a few levers that we can pull? Are there a few suggestions we can make? Is it that, a flood would help? An earthquake would help? Is it that we need to like have a drier season because there's too much water? What is it? So they're kind of always playing with these recommendations. We're coming to a point, nothing is set in stone, where the potential path looks like it's going to say removal of one or two key characters in a few key locations might bring things back into balance. And it would be the easiest way to regulate what has become dysregulated.
Okay. So, now listen.
Is this a TV show, by the way?
No. Didn't Lee Harris or someone say this?
Oh, I don't know. God, did he say it in one of these things that I can never remember?
I thought somebody I listened to, and I listened to like 2 people. So I don't know. I thought that
Keep talking. This
he
starts
didn't
to
really
sound
say
familiar.
Donald Trump. He just said, like, when he said it, it made me think of any of these Putin, Trump,
Yes, I know what you're talking
the
about now.
problem child.
Yes.
Like, who's the other problem child right now? Is there a third one?
Netanyahu.
Yes, thank you, Netanyahu. Like one of those 3. That's in my head the way that was
I had the same
stated.
thought. Mm-hmm.
That was like even within the month of November is kind of what I thought. So okay, well, that was
Yeah.
crazy. Galactic Council, yeah. Okay, but it would be like I mean, do they take people out? I never thought they would do that.
I didn't either,
Or did
but
they just,
maybe
is it like
they.
that one show where they can like use their hands, they weave the timelines and like
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, it might just be that maybe they remove the resistance to stop it from happening.
they're all really old, they could die anyway. So it's like, right.
Yeah.
Like spin this timeline up kind of thing.
Oh, no. They're like, no. Like you're thinking too literal as humans. The discussion, the intervention happens at the soul level. So let's just choose Donald Trump as the example. So his human is kind of a shit right now, behaving not well, poorly. His soul and his human, different. This
different, 2 different things.
2 different things. So they speak to the soul, and the soul can make the decision, which we've talked about before. The soul can make the decision of, we have gone so far off the rails.
Shut it down.
As a human, I'm shutting my human down. We're coming back. We're trying this again. This human has nowhere to go. Like, we're getting too bad.
We're too far off the rails. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, there are humans and souls that come in with the goal, the pact of, we're going to go off the rails. Like, let's see what that feels like.
Go off the rails and see what happens.
Yeah. But at some point, even that ends in a crash. Like, usually the people, the collection that comes in to go off the rails, it seems like they don't ever really live very long if you think about it.
Yeah. Well, and it's kind of like the thing that will fuck your mind up. Actually, the last telepathy tapes I listened to, my brain hurt so badly after that was over.
Oh, I forgot to listen to it. That's what I was going to do in my car
that was the art one. Then there was another one, and I wanted you to listen. But I'm just going to say this right now. There's a woman who was having a breakdown, and then all of a sudden could do art and drawing, but sacred geometry.
Ooh.
She talks about it being like she goes into the bubble, like she feels like it's a bubble.
Yeah.
And she goes, the woman, the interviewer, Ty, was like, do you regret anything? And she goes, well, I mean, I kind of just asked anyone for help, and I just don't recommend just asking anyone for help. We need to just remember this and have a whole other podcast of why that is a fucking problem. Do not just ask anyone in the universe for help. Okay?
No.
She agrees, and she got a beautiful gift about drawing sacred geometry, but it also seems like it's like kind of taken over her life in a way.
Oh, like all she does is draw sacred geometry?
I mean, she has a life, but it's like they probably wake her up in the middle of the night and shit like that. She's like, I mean, she wasn't really saying she considered the other side of if she hadn't asked for help, what would have happened. She's kind of like, I mean, I just sort of shouted it out there, and I just don't recommend that.
Oh my God, that is exactly what I did when our crazy coach came in, both times.
Exactly.
I said out loud, I wish someone would just tell me what my purpose is. Just set it out.
Don't do that.
Just set it out.
Do not recommend.
No.
1 star.
No, do not put something like that in a letter without an address on it.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Ask God if you need to. That's an energy. Ask Jesus if you need to. That's an energy. Like,
yeah.
Ask an angel, but be specific. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I feel like we just lost the plot on the thing we were just talking about, and I derailed it.
Oh, it was the hits that Trump might be passing.
Well, I forget.
Then we got into the Galactic Council and all kinds of interesting things.
Them counseling. Oh, the soul deciding this has gone off the rails.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know what I was going to say, because that's okay. So it reminded me of that last episode. I think it's season 2, episode 3. But this guy his mind is cracked open, and he can understand how the universe works and kind of see it. And he was talking, and I was like lost. He's gone back and gotten some like sciencey degrees because he was describing it in a way that the scientists don't describe it. They don't use those words. So he's now using the science words, and you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? The singularity, this, light fractals, that. I'm like, ugh. But what it reminded me of was all of this, and that reminded me of the whole concept that this is like a video game. Because when the people have near-death experiences, they say, I went to a place that was more real than this.
Oh,
They
right.
all say that. So like, but it really hurts your brain to think of it as a video game. But Kai Dickens did such a good job. She's like, they can tell me my kids are just cells. They're just only cells. They're just made of cells. But that's not the whole thing. So don't get stressed out about this, is kind of what she's saying. But basically what I'm saying is if you think about it as that analogy, you're playing the video game, you're just like, oh shit, this is terrible. Like shut it down because we got to start over because I'm losing too many limbs or points or whatever it is. So you just start the level over again so you can come back from a better place. But to me, it kind of seems like what you were saying is similar to that video game analogy that people use.
Well, have you watched The Lazarus Project on Netflix?
No.
Okay.
This is a cult thing.
No. This is a show, and I think it's been around for a little bit, or maybe it came out a couple. There's 2 seasons, so it hasn't been out for very long. And it kept coming up on my feed, but I kept ignoring it because I had never heard anyone talk about it. And finally, I just started watching one night because it talks about time loops. I think, Laura, you would really like this.
Okay, now I'm in.
I did not say anything to you until I got through the first season because I was afraid that it might end up being stupid. But I finished the first season last night. I'm not going to give anything away. They obviously talk about time loops in like the description of it. But it made me wonder, I was thinking this last night after I watched the last episode, what if, for those of us that believe in reincarnation, what if it's not really reincarnation? What if we're just stuck in time loops?
Oh my God, yikes. Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
well, I mean, I think the general consensus is there is no such thing as time. So it's like,
yeah, so I'm not going to give anything away. If I'm trying to think of like what I can tell you without ruining for it. It's not going to ruin anything if I tell you this part. So the Lazarus Project is a group of individuals that are tasked with keeping humanity alive on Earth. And so anytime there's something that would destroy it, they do a reset and they go back to a certain point. Did you watch this?
yes.
They reset to July 1st.
Wait, is there a new season out?
There's a second season. I don't know when it came out. Maybe it came out this year. I don't know. I just finished the first season. Anyway, so it made me think of what we were just talking about, where like maybe we're moving our way down this path of just fucking shit up enough that the council's like, a reset? Like, right. Take it back to July 1st, whatever year. Now, they're always resetting within a year. Mm-hmm. And most people who get reset don't remember, but there are a few, they call them mutants, who remember. So they remember all the different lives that were led. They remember everything up to the destruction. But when you get a reset, it doesn't necessarily mean that everything plays out the exact same way because you have infinite choice.
Right.
And our souls are really in the driver's seat. So on some level, the soul might be like, we got to reset. Like, let's redo some of this shit. Let's try this other thing. Anyway.
Which it all supports the idea of this being just an experience.
Yeah, a game.
Yeah.
Because it's the same concept in a video game. You go to a certain point until you destroy yourself in the game, and then you get reset. You get reset usually to the last level that you succeeded to.
And no matter what, you can't exactly recreate the exact same thing every time.
Right.
That's crazy.
It is crazy. Anyway, the Lazarus Project, check it out.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I totally forgot about that. I just don't know how far I got. Well,
I figured you probably had to have watched it because it is time travel, time loop.
I just wasn't tying it together with the title. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The title's not great. That's why I said no to it for a long time.
Doesn't make sense. I don't know. That wraps this episode of One Card Shy. Did you love it? Leave us a review, share it with your friends, and sign up for our monthly crown straightener. Bonus, you'll get our free Claim Your Crown guide when you subscribe.
And be sure to find us on Instagram and check out our website. Both are rainworld.co. All the links are below. See you next time, Queens.